Welcome to this edition of AWC TV. And there's probably no bigger topic in the window cleaning industry than water-fed poles and the systems that make the magic, the water happen through the pole and clean windows. And we're happy today to have as our guest Shawn Gavin, who's no stranger to the water-fed world at all, with the owner of Reach Higher Ground Products, and then also, as of recently, the Tucker brand. So Shawn, welcome aboard. Happy to have you on the show today.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. How long has it been now since you've been creating water-fed products?
Right around 10 years. I think it was 06, 07. I kind of got into it. I was still cleaning windows at the time and had some needs of my own. And that's when I got into it. It was right around 06, 07.
Yeah, what facilitated that? So you were a window cleaner prior to all this, and you owned a window cleaning company out there in Colorado. So why? What was missing in the industry, or why did you think that would be a cool idea?
Right. So basically, there was a couple brands at that point doing water-fed poles that could reach, 50, 60 foot. And that's what I needed was a pole of that length. And those brands were not readily available really in the U.S. So I had to develop a relationship with a company overseas so that I could import a pole to get a job done. I needed, I think it was a 55-footer at the time we needed to be able to reach, and there just wasn't anything readily available here.
Okay. Well, very good. So just kind of the need facilitated the drive to go out and do your thing. How long has it been now since you purchased the Tucker name?
So Tucker was acquired in 2015, March of 2015, so just over 2 years.
Okay, and of course that name Tucker is very well known in the industry. Actually, most people even refer to that type of work as Tucker pole work, or Tucker. I'm gonna use a Tucker pole on this, even when it's somebody else's brand. So I'm sure other brands just cringe when they hear that word, because it's it's just so synonymous with what's going on in the industry. I remember my first water-fed pole system when I was cleaning windows. It's probably been say maybe 10, 15 years ago. Robin Tucker, I got on the phone with him. Was talking to him. He was telling me about this magic system and magic water, and I bought into that system. And it was the 45-foot aluminum pole with the dual hose and all that. But that was a lot of us in the window cleaning industry, I think, first exposure to water-fed pole was a Tucker pole.
Right. Yeah. Still sell a lot of those dual line 45-foot aluminum poles, believe it or not.
Yeah. So when you took over, what changes did you make? What things did you see? Obviously, the name was, a great thing to pick up. But what did you see that you needed to develop in that line?
Well, there was a lot of holes. Obviously, the brush was enough of a reason to buy the company for us. We've always struggled to find good brushes. Doesn't matter if it's British or European or Chinese have some brushes, but we always struggle to find a good brush. And Tucker was making brushes right in Iowa, and most people that I had talked to, in my experience, was that was as good as it got, and it does a great job. So we kind of built off of that in a sense, and kept that formula for that brush, and we kept the aluminum poles. But even as a window cleaner, when we were using the Tucker poles, the old metal clamps that they had on there, the worm drive that you had to have the tool for and all that, it really was sort of outdated. And even at the time, we were coming up with our own ways to make those work better. So that was one of the first things, was to utilize a clamp for those poles that had been available for quite a while in another market. And we adapted those pretty quick. But from there, obviously, we needed to go composite poles. Wasn't necessarily something that I wanted to do with the business. I kind of wanted to go my direction was water, but we had a relationship with a manufacturer at the time that was seized, and we were ultimately thrown into coming up with our own carbon fiber range. And it's been great for us. Obviously, we've come out with a number of carbon fiber poles with some unique features. So, really the only thing that existed that was of value from a product standpoint was the brush and the aluminum pole range. Everything else, from the RODI carts to the carbon fiber stuff, to the the fill and go water tank systems, it's all been than the last 2 years recent developments.
Yeah, that clamping system. When you say, we made our own, there was that Tucker key, right, that you had to have to make that clamp tighten up, and invariably everybody lost that key. And so, the ingenuity of window cleaners, it was probably a pair of pliers to tighten that thing up for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's good. So the new clamps are different. Even on the aluminum pole, they're more of a twist type clamp that's very easy to go on. You don't need an extra tool to do. The carbon fiber line is awesome. It's a metal clamp, right?
Yeah, it's an anodized aluminum clamp. What we actually ran into was I made some prototype clamps for one of the IWCA shows a couple years ago, and we had those clamps on some poles, and they were aluminum, and we were simply looking for feedback on the clamp design. And overwhelmingly, people were saying, "Whoa, finally, a clamp that won't break. You've made an aluminum clamp, all this kind of stuff." And I really wasn't looking to go in that direction, but it was one of those situations where you get feedback from your customer base and you go with it. And so we've pursued that, and being aluminum, we're able to put a lifetime warranty on that clamp. It's very difficult to break one of those. Usually it's something's come up with a section falling down or something like that. But for as many of those as we sold in the last couple of years, you can count on one hand how many of those clamps we've replaced. But it's interesting because we set out to make a plastic clamp for those poles to save on the weight. Weight has been a big thing for I want to say the advertisers of water-fed poles, more so than for the end users, is what we've found, because the aluminum clamps add a fair amount of weight, but the feedback we're getting is that it's a nice, great balanced pole, and the aluminum clamps are reliable, and it takes that issue of clamps breaking and that kind of stuff out of the mindset of the end user.
Yeah, well, one thing's for sure. I mean, all the different brands that are out on the market and things like this, the clamping system is vital to be looking at, because as well as I do that those clamp prices add up pretty quickly into a pole. And so if I'm going to be replacing clamps, it's something to look at. So well done. So lifetime warranty on the clamps. That's a neat feature. I don't think I've seen that on any other manufacturer's pole. So well done there. Where do you think Tucker's going? Not to give any of the trade secrets away or what you're doing R&D wise, but what can we look forward to?
Sure. So really what we've been trying to figure out over the last couple of years is the brush manufacturing itself has been a big thing for us. So in-house, Tucker was making brushes. A gentleman named Harold literally worked one job his entire adult life, came on with Tucker in the mid-50s, and they bought a brush making machine, and Harold was the man who made every brush you ever used from the mid-50s up until the time I bought Tucker. Actually pulled him and another gentleman in his 60s out of retirement. And they came to work for us for a little while, taught us everything we needed to know, and Harold fired up that old brush machine again and got it going. Well, obviously, we're not Harold, and we didn't move Harold. He obviously was ready to retire and was nice enough to help us out a little bit there. But the thing for us has been, okay, so how do we take this recipe and just improve on it and make sure that we can have some really good control and a U.S.-made product for our brushes? So initially, we kind of scrambled a little bit to make sure that we had a product available. We moved the brush machine to Colorado. Ultimately, we didn't want to be in the brush manufacturing business, so we had to find somebody that we could trust and outsource that to. So we've been transitioning back and forth a little bit with that, and over the last couple of months, we've finished up some tooling that we needed to make so that we can make our own brushes here in the U.S., and we've come out with the new and improved 12-inch versions. The 18s are now in retooling, and the 18-inch versions will be coming out. So that's taken quite a while to kind of see through that process. It's well over a year of kind of making sure everything's right, going back to the drawing board, fixing anything that's wrong. And really, the next part for us has been focusing on Euro-style fitments for our carbon fiber range. So when we originally said, okay, we got to have a carbon fiber pole, obviously, we kind of scrambled a little bit for the attachments and accessories for the tip, and we've got some traditional stuff we had to try and incorporate from Tucker. And over the last couple of months, say 6 months or so, we've been working on some different things on how do we incorporate the Euro tip into the Tucker poles, the carbon fiber range, so that we can open up to the UK and the European markets, which are asking us for the poles, but we're purposely not sending them over there as of yet because we're really not dialed in for the European marketplace. So end users and consumers can see over the next couple of months here some of our Euro style fitments that we've been working on. We've got some carbon fiber goosenecks coming to market for those Euro poles over the next couple of months here, so finishing up some testing with that. But just a lot of kind of fine tuning and making sure what we're putting out there really deserves the Tucker brand name on it. It's a 60-year-old company this year, and we want to honor the family that really pioneered this industry for water-fed and window cleaners.
Yeah, well, it's certainly in good hands. I know I recently run across one of your customers from the original 5-stage water-fed system, and he pulls it out of his truck in the back, and he says, hey, what do you think? I'm thinking about upgrading. What do you think I should do? And this thing is pristine, right? I mean, he has taken such good care of it. It's just, I mean, there's not a chip of paint on it or anything. And I told him, I said, well, why would you replace it? And he says, there's just, there's some stuff. I said, well, there is some stuff that may be lighter. But I said, other than that, it's still a great machine. I mean, that was, I think, maybe a 10-year-old machine. But that was one of those original RHG R5s, the big box aluminum, and so certainly no stranger to the water-fed industry. You've been doing it a long time. Tucker's in great hands, and we look really forward to all the innovation that RHG Products and Tucker will have for us in the future. Shawn, thanks so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
So all you readers, Tucker has been one of our major advertisers in our magazine and supporter. We really appreciate them. And if you haven't tried their products yet, get your hands on a Tucker pole or even the Easy line that they've come out with recently and try them out. I'm Mike with AWC TV, signing off. Stay tuned for our next episode of AWC TV by following us on YouTube, Facebook, or our website, awcmag.com.